you want the people behind you to show, I would just ask if you lift the envelope
Okay.
a little bit. So, yeah.
All right. Good
Behind
point.
you.
Good point.
Is that everyone? Or would you mind starting with your first and last name? Can you spell those out? Then
Sure.
give us your title.
My name is Esther Sung, ESTHER SUNG. I'm the legal director at Justice Action Center.
Can you help us summarize maybe some main what was today's purpose? And then the outcome. I know we have another hearing on Thursday.
Yeah, sure. This is one of two hearings of the judge. This is one of two hearings that the judge scheduled for this week. The purpose of this hearing was to address actions that the government has taken to indefinitely suspend certain parole processes, as well as the processing of applications for immigration benefits filed by parole beneficiaries. And today, the judge appeared to want to explore the possibility of certifying a class, which means that if she did certify the class, if she did provide relief, the relief would go to the entire class and not just to the named individuals who are in the suit. Because although we do have, I think, 18 individual plaintiffs who represent different parole processes, who are harmed by the federal government's actions in a variety of ways, there are thousands and thousands of more individuals who are beneficiaries of various parole processes or who have applied to sponsor individuals for parole under these processes who are similarly situated and who are also being harmed by the federal government. And so it's very important to us that we get class certification so that relief runs to everybody in the class and not just the named plaintiffs. In addition to that, the judge seems to take her role in crafting relief here seriously. She wanted to explore the contours of the federal government's actions to ensure that she's addressing the relevant harms and no more or no less, I believe. And that, at least for our part, it was important for us to be able to tell the stories of the individual plaintiffs who are participating in this lawsuit courageously, I might add, because their harms are emblematic or illustrative of harms that are being inflicted on people across the country because of the government's actions regarding parole.
Try to relate to what these harms are. Maybe just cite some examples and how this is impacting them.
Absolutely. I mean, what the government here is doing for beneficiaries of parole is it's closing all the doors and then also closing all the windows too, and it's giving them no options. So first of all, what the government has done is it has suspended processing of all applications for parole and reparole. The suspension of processing for reparole for individuals here in the United States is particularly important because these are individuals who, again, are here on parole, and parole is for a limited period of time. And so when a person's grant of parole expires, if they have not sought another of status, they will be unlawfully here in the United States. So that's one door. And then all of the other doors and windows that the federal government is closing have to do with an additional suspension that the federal government has imposed on the processing of all additional immigration benefits filed by or on behalf of parole beneficiaries. So when you are here in the United States, you are entitled to apply for any immigration benefit for which you are eligible. And that includes asylum, that includes temporary protected status, it includes green cards if you are eligible, employment-based visas. These are things that the immigration system that Congress has set up allows people to apply for. And what the federal government has done is it we will not process any of these applications. So that means that with the passage of time, people whose periods of parole expire, they have no other option. Even if they are eligible for other lawful statuses, and even if they have applied for those other lawful statuses in a timely fashion, the government has said, no, we will give you no options whatsoever. And that fundamentally to us seems unfair, and it's basically the government walking back promises that it made to these individuals when the parole processes were set up, and also walking back the promises that Congress has made in the INA.
What's the hearing about this?
No, so the judge did touch on CHNV a little bit today, but she has specifically reserved her questions and concerns about CHNV for the hearing that's going to occur on Thursday at 3 p.m. And that's because there's still briefing from the parties that's still in progress. And she also figured with the Federal Register notice that was issued on March 21st that officially terminates the CHNV parole processes, and that also clawed back or rescinded individual grants of CHNV parole. Because that was a later occurring event, it happened after we filed the original complaint. She just set that on a slightly different schedule, and so that's what the hearing on Thursday is for.